Do you think you need a camera or a computer to sell photos and videos online? You don't. If you have a phone in your pocket, you can start today. In this video, I'll walk you through the entire process from capturing the footage to uploading it to stock agencies, all from your phone. To keep this video short, I'm focusing on only video clips and only on my 3 best performing agencies: Adobe Stock, Getty Images, and Shutterstock. Yes, we're talking about stock photography and stock footage. And before someone says here in the comments that stock photography is dead, no, it's not. Especially real life video clips. They're selling better than ever. With that said, if you know any other way that people can start making money using nothing but a phone, leave it here in the comments down below. Let's get started. First things first, capture the video. Literally anything can sell. Now, some things are more commercial than others, so pay attention to advertising and trends so you can see what buyers are already paying for, so you can create your own relevant content based on this stuff. I made a whole video on how to capture stock footage with your phone, so I'm not gonna spend too much time with this. I'm gonna link that video here in the video description. The important thing here is to use a camera app like Blackmagic Camera or something that's free and gives you total control. You want control over your exposure, your focus sometimes, but specifically your white balance. The goal here isn't to make a movie, it's literally to make clean, usable, short clips, 6 to 15 seconds. Okay, step number 2 is edit, and you can get free apps for this. Once you shot your clips, you don't need a computer. You can edit everything on your phone. For this, I'm gonna be using CapCut. Keep it simple. Trim the clips, stabilize shaky footage if you have to, fix the horizon, and adjust the color so it looks natural. Oh, and one more thing, remove that audio. Stock agencies only want clean, usable footage. That's it. But let's get into the editing a little bit more so you see what I'm talking about. For this, I'm using the free version of CapCut. Now, you can see here I got a video of Bambi in the woods, and if I move it like this, I'm trimming that clip, and you can see that she's just standing there looking at the camera. And so I'm gonna start right here, because at first she wasn't even looking, so you don't want that in your frame. Right now I got 9 seconds, and there we go. She starts running, and then she almost goes out of frame, but then keeps running, and that's pretty good. Then right here she goes out of frame. So let me trim that out because there was some flares and there was other stuff. So let me just go here. Okay, so you got Bambi running through the woods, and you can see that's 8 seconds, 6 seconds, and that's plenty. 6 seconds is the minimum to get accepted for stock. Now, here on CapCut, you have effects, which you don't want. You don't want to put effects or do anything fancy because that's just gonna get your video rejected. You want to keep it simple. We want to keep it basic, not what we see in social media. How do I get back here? So what you want to do is you tap on the footage and it opens all these other things. So the first thing is the volume. You want to lower the volume, get rid of that sound. If your phone has the option to capture video without the audio, do that. You might even have to Google the instructions for that particular phone. But if you don't have that option, then you can do it afterwards. And right here on CapCut, you could just lower the volume and you're good. If you need to crop it, see, you want to keep it on the same dimensions. Okay, now to fix the horizon, that's again, you go into the crop and you just tap on the footage and you go right back to the beginning where the crop is one of the basic settings, and you can bring it down. You can see, you could just turn with your finger. Just be very careful. You want the horizon to look straight, especially if you got a water scene or something, you want that to be flat. But every time you crop a little bit, it's zooming into that photo every time you adjust it, and that's where you got to be careful because you don't want to lose that dimension. Try getting your shot level from the beginning because too much cropping is going to get that video rejected. Now, if you need to adjust colors, this is where you do it. Again, you tap the video, and then at the bottom, you just drag your finger across and you go to adjust. This is gonna help you adjust your brightness, contrast, saturations, everything here. Now, less is more when it comes to stock. Like I could take the contrast and move it all the way up, and see, it just looks fake. It pops, but it looks fake. Saturation too, we can make it black and white or really make those colors pop, but you don't want that. You wanna keep it simple. So in this case, it looks fine out of camera, so I'm not gonna be doing any of those changes. I just wanted to show you how to do them. Now, CapCut can also stabilize your footage. My phone doesn't have stabilizer, so I used a gimbal, it kept it nice. Now, the stabilizer only works for the paid version of the app, so I'm not gonna get it because I don't use this, I was just showing you how to do it. This is the part where everyone gets confused, so I'll do my best to keep it simple. Normal footage that we see every day is played at 24 frames a second or 2397 or 24 frames a second. That means that there's 24 individual images in 1 second. This footage of Bambi running, I captured it at 60 frames per second, which means I can slow it down because I have 60 individual images, I can bring it down to 24. If I go down to 50%, that gives me 30 pictures per second, 30 frames a second. So I can slow it down to 40% and that will play back normal speed at 24 frames a second. Does that make sense? This is helpful when you have a short video and you want to extend that footage. You can get more than 6 seconds. Literally, you can double the time when you film at 60 frames a second by slowing it down. Don't overdo it. It's just something to keep in mind. I like to do this with fast action or macro video like bees pollinating stuff, that kind of stuff. It looks better when you slow it down. So let me show you how to do that. You select the footage. Let's leave that there. You select the footage and you go back to, where did it go? Select the footage. If we go back to speed right here and go to normal, this allows me to change the speed, whether I speed it up or slow it down to, let's say, half or 40%, right there, 0.4. This should play at 24 frames a second. So if I do okay, play the video, you can see that it looks normal, it looks natural. It's playing at 24 frames a second and more than doubled the footage because I captured it at 60. This could get complicated, so I don't want you to spend too much time thinking about this. Just capture whatever you can and upload it. It's something to keep in mind if you don't have enough seconds for stock. Now, if you slow it down too much, which I'll do right now just to show you, it's gonna look all choppy. So let's go back here to select the footage. Let's go back to speed. And now I'm gonna slow it down to, let's say, 2. So you see what I mean about choppy? Because now it's playing 12 frames a second, 12 pictures in a second, and that's not natural. 24 is natural. That's most of what we see everywhere. So at this speed, it just looks choppy. It's gonna get rejected. It's not gonna get accepted. Once you're done doing all the edits, then you have to go to export. So you go up here where it says AIU HD. You go all the way to 4K because you want all that data in there. And then the frame rate, you can go down to 24 frames a second. This particular video, we slowed it down to 24 frames a second. So you want it exported at 24 frames a second. If we left it as it was, then we exported at 60 frames a second. That can get complicated, so don't worry too much about this. For now, just try to export as you filmed, and that's gonna make life a lot easier. And then the other thing to keep an eye on here is the bit rate. You want that all the way to the top, 100% or whatever it gives you, because you want the most quality out of that video. Then you go up top, you hit export. Okay, you wait for the export, it's exporting, and then it's gonna give you a couple of different options here. And I'm just gonna go to the other instead of Instagram, and I'm gonna go to other and then save video. It's gonna save it in my device. And now we can go to the upload. Quick insert here, if your clip is blurry, AI can't fix that. If it could, I would have 30,000 more stock clips online. All right, it's a joke, but seriously, stay away from AI tools from your stock photography or videos. Anything that has generative is going to get you flagged and possibly even lose your account. So stick to real video or select the option that says this video was generated by AI when you upload it. Not every agency accepts AI footage, so just be careful with the generative stuff. You don't want to get banned. Okay, step number 3, this is where we upload that footage. Once you have a polished clip, it's time to upload it. The workflow is a little bit different than using a computer, but it's still fairly easy from your phone. Most stock agencies now allow uploads through mobile browser. So you just sign into your account via the mobile browser. Shutterstock has a contributor app. Now the app is great for photos, but for video, you'll have to go through your browser. In the browser, once you have your account, you just upload the files, add the metadata and details, and submit. Phone, browser, done. Okay, before we upload, let's talk about the metadata. This is the part where a lot of beginners get overwhelmed. It doesn't have to be difficult. Just describe what you filmed or photograph and add keywords that someone can use to find that particular footage or video. If they can't find it, it's not gonna sell, no matter how good it is. If this is too much, you can use AI tools to generate titles, descriptions, and keywords. The important part here is accuracy. AI can save you time, but you're still responsible for making sure that everything is correct. Use a prompt like this, and I'll copy it here in the video description. Create stock footage title under 70 characters, a short description, and 49 keywords, ordered from the most important to least important for Adobe stock. Okay, remember, AI is gonna speed things up, but you still need to make sure everything is accurate. You're guiding it, not replacing yourself with it. Once you have that info, copy and paste to the agencies. If you have similar clips, you can use the same keywords, titles, and descriptions. Don't complicate things, that's fine. Step number 5 is submit for review. This is where you send your clip in and the reviewers tell you if it's great or not. They check the requirements, make sure if you have any categories, you can choose those, and then click submit. That's it. A few days later, you'll receive an approval or rejection. If it's rejected, they tell you why sometimes, and then you can fix the problem and upload it again. This is where we learn, but the real secret is in expensive gear. It's consistency. If you can, upload 5 videos a week or 10 videos a week, maybe even 1 video a week. Just keep uploading. Volume and consistency beats perfection every time. I'll be the first one to say that I'm not a big fan of doing everything on my phone. It could be a lot of work, so I just want you to know that. But I also know that not everyone has access to the same tools. I started with very little. Over time, I built a solid stock photography portfolio, and then I bought better cameras, upgraded my computer, and eventually I built a full-time photography and video business. Most of that money I earned through stock photography. Now, my point is, start with what you have. If this is something you want to do, and I mean really want to do, just start. I am going to say though, phones are going to be a lot better for stock video than for stock photos. So use your tools where they're the strongest. For stock content with phones and videos, where that money's at. Now, of course, that's my opinion, and I only have an iPhone 11 Pro, so take it for what it is. Now, as money comes in, you can upgrade the part that's slowing you down the most. If your shooting feels limited, the reach or whatever, then you can upgrade your camera. Most cameras have apps that let you transfer files from the camera to your phone, so you can upload from the phone. You don't even need a computer. If uploading from a phone takes too much time away from creating, then get a computer. Now, if you're gonna upgrade later when you know what tools are gonna save you time. Don't upgrade because the social media tells you to. Upgrade because it solves a problem or because it saves you time. Time is your most valuable asset, so spend it wisely. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.